All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all to a special edition of Film Breakdown with Coach E. So, what we're going to do is take a couple plays from this week's Browns game and show y'all just a little bit of inside of the game, the way I watched the game, the way Brother Ricky's still in the building. Brother Ricky watches film. You know how that used to go back in the day, Rick. So just want to bring y'all a little bit closer to the game and show y'all how you should be watching the game when it's on. Not just like a fan. Hopefully I can teach you a way to see it the way the guys see it on and off the field. So right here we have a play with the Cowboys and the Browns from this weekend's game. So we have the Browns on defense, and we have one safety deep back here. That is Juan Thornhill. We have Denzel Ward at the top of the screen playing one on one with CD Lamb, the Cowboys' quote unquote number one receiver. And we got Emerson down at the bottom, Greg Newsome in the slot on the two receivers at the bottom of the screen. Looks like the Browns are going one high safety, man up top. So Dak is going to be looking for the matchup that he wants to go to, which is CD Lamb at the top of the screen. Denzel is a great bump and run corner, meaning bump and run. He's lined up about 2 yards away from CD Lamb. His job is to jam him, get him off of his route, use the sideline as a friend to funnel him back to the outside. You do not want the receiver to get outside of you as a corner. If you do, typically you're going to be beat. So let's see what Denzel does. And also, one thing again, the deep safety Juan Thornhill has to help either side of the field. That's why he's in the middle of the formation. If something gets like, if he sees somebody that he thinks is going to get beat, his job is to go over there over top and help get that other bracket across the receiver. So let's run the play and see what happens. So you got Denzel. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. He gave him a free release at the top of the screen. That's something you really don't want to do as a corner. You really want to get a jam on him. Like I said, you don't want to let him come to the outside. Denzel usually does a good job of getting his hands on him and rerouting the receiver, but here he doesn't. He's still in good position. He just has to turn faster, locate the ball, and try to make a play on the ball, whether it be a breakup or possibly an interception, which he usually does good. But CeeDee Lamb actually made a great play here. He fought through the hands of Denzel Ward. He didn't obscure the vision good enough. And there you have a first down. Juan Thornhill came over just a little bit late on the help side coverage, in which he should have been over there a little bit earlier to try and stop that one-on-one action, but he didn't make it. So it was a good throwing catch by Dak and a good catch by CeeDee Lamb there. Rick, you
If
got
you
something you want to add?
Yeah, at the bottom, if you see that corner, he's out in the bail technique, so they might be showing cover one and
Mm-hmm.
then bailing out to three.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think that because if you watch the linebackers, watch how they drop, and nobody really, because if they were man to man, do you see the running back how he's coming out to the flat there? Somebody would be basically beeline and straight running downhill, trying to eat up space to him. But they all drop into
so,
coverage. I think they just
but
showing
look,
one but playing three.
it still could be three because, like you said, Denzel could bail. He will have deep third. Three meaning people, ladies and gentlemen. Cover three is you take the three DBs, the two outside corners, and the one deep safety. You are splitting the field in threes, different portions of three. So Denzel has from the sideline to the numbers. Juan Thornhill has from the numbers to the hash, and Martin Emerson at the bottom of the screen will have from the sideline to those numbers. So that'll be the three parts of the field that they're breaking it down into. That's what Rick is saying, cover three. But Rick, if I when I push play, look at the middle backer as the
Yeah, I was just
running
about to
back.
say he is running.
It looked like
Yeah,
he's sprinting out towards the back, so that could give us an indication that they still are in man coverage. But you're
yeah.
right, Martin Emerson does have the bail technique. Bail technique is showing. Look, once I push play, Martin Emerson's numbers will come on the screen. Usually, if it's a man, he's all the way in the back pedal and then turning and running with the receiver. But it looks like he's immediately showing us his numbers, so that could mean they could have a split too, Rick. They could have
Hmm.
three at the top, man at the bottom.
Yeah, and most of the time, and this is it trips to the right?
Let me rewind that
Is
one
it?
more time.
I think it's trips right.
Yeah, trip swipe with the tight end. Tight
Yeah.
end
So
in the slot. Yep.
sometimes when I play or when I coach, we would do a where you basically split the field in half, like you're saying, they're playing zone back. They're playing man backside to CD Lamb, and they're playing zone down here because it's like a trips check. So now it's like, hey,
Yeah.
we got trips to
So
this side. We're gonna zone, like you saying, E. We're gonna zone this side and play man on the back. And that outside
and then
linebacker, his job is probably just to play underneath. So any slant, any in route by CD Lamb, I got
yeah.
that. But that corner is gonna play him man to man.
And so, just to give you a little insight of what I do at Bedford, I don't care. I'll give it away. You still got to stop it. So, with the trips in a formation like this, with the trips down at the bottom, I'll call this orange. We'll check orange. That'll mean our cover three. We'll check cover three down to the trips. So, and we'll say yo-yo meaning that corner, as if Denzel, he's the man corner, and that free safety knows yo-yo that he has to help more towards the single receiver side just to bracket him, just so he doesn't get beat. If that corner gets beat, it's typically 7. So we just yo-yo that backside and say orange, orange, orange. We got trips at the bottom, and just like you said, Rick, the outside corner will have cover 3 deep, and then that slot corner he will have hook the curl. That other backer, sometimes I have him coming out to the flat just in case that back sneaks out to the flat, but I don't want him
Mhm.
going no further than 5 yards. We can always come down and tackle that, but we don't want him to jump that out route and then it mess around and be a wheel route when that running back gets
Yeah.
down because you know what I'm saying that corner is already gone. Or it can be a pigtail route or angle route where he comes right back to the middle of the field. So we'll yo-yo that with an orange, orange, orange if we was at Bedford. But let's see what this.
Well, I remember when I played corner in college, we used to say, even on the backside of cover three where I was covering that single receiver, like you have at the top there,
Mm-hmm.
we played that like man. Kind of a caveat
Okay,
saying if you had a slant or anything, I'm not jumping the slant because I still have deep third responsibility. But if that
right,
receiver comes off the line, anything deeper than 5 yards, I'm man.
right,
So
exactly.
yeah.
So once again, this is the touchdown play with the Dallas Cowboys that we were alluding to in earlier in the episode, where it was a miscommunication with Martin Emerson in the corner at the bottom of the screen right here with everybody else. So before I roll this, Rick, they came out in trips again. Like I said earlier, Brandon Cooks is the slot receiver. Slot receiver meaning that's the inside receiver closest to the offensive tackle. Then you have CD Lamb right here in the number 2 spot, and I don't know who that is outside, but they are in
Is
trips
this
at the bottom of the screen.
but it's trips now with 10 personnel. They
Yeah,
got 4 wide
with no
receivers on
back.
the field. Oh,
Yeah,
so
the
it's
back
empty?
is the yeah, it's empty because the back went up there. That's the back in motion right there. He went split out wide.
Okay.
So with that motion, you can see the Cleveland defenders. It'll be Juan Thornhill, it'll be Greg Newsome, and I believe this. I think that's Jeremiah Wusu Kamara right there. They're gonna point to the sky. I'm, I'm looking at the film. And this is what it's telling me. That's them checking to that cover 3 that me and Rick was just alluding to. But if you look, Martin Emerson at the bottom of the screen does not do it back to them. So I don't know if he heard or saw the check. But everybody else was expecting him to be in 3. So once again, Denzel would have that deep third over here at the top of the screen, and as you can see, his guy is going down, but he still has to worry about that tight end at the back at the top of the screen. So Rick, you're right, it is empty. That would be 5 wide because that tight end is right there. So
Okay.
that's just the empty check. I guess they doing that cover 3 to empty check. So if that tight
Yeah.
end comes out deep at the top of the screen, Denzel has him. If somebody was to go to the middle of the field deep, that'll be Juan Thornhill. And if somebody comes at the bottom of the screen deep, that has to be Martin Emerson. Greg Newsome, Jeremiah has underneath coverage because it's a zero blitz. You see everybody crowding the line of scrimmage. You got somebody in the A gap, you got somebody in the B gap. All gaps are covered. And you got Miles Garrett up here at a wide 9. You got shoot Zendarius Smith at the bottom in a wide 9, giving them an easier access to Dak. So we'll see what they do. I'm gonna point out the check to the cover 3. Them pointing to the sky. Tell me if you see it. Hold on, let me go back. You see everybody pointing to the sky? Juan Thornhill's pointing, Greg Newsome is pointing to the sky. They're checking the cover 3. Martin Emerson backs up as if he heard and saw the check, but he just doesn't get back to his deep third. Therefore, Brandon Cooks is coming around running that that corner route. Juan Thornhill saw him at the last minute because Martin Emerson was supposed to get deep third back here and have that area of the end zone covered. He doesn't. So that just leaves a big, huge hole in the defense. And you can see
What's the
Denzel
down
and
the
Bill
distance?
technique. This is 3rd and 5 right here.
35.
On the what is that? They're on the 22, 3rd and 5 from the 22. So that's why they're going zero blitz. You're trying to get as much pressure in the quarterback's face. You don't want him to have a lot of time to be comfortable back there. So the blitz actually gets home with Jordan Hicks coming through the middle. But once again, the corner didn't get the check. Therefore, wide open freaking touchdown for Brandon Cooks and Dak Prescott. One more time for everybody.
I, I like for me, it looks like they're zeroed out. So
You think that's
I
man all
feel
across the board with the zero blitz?
yeah, and the sometimes what we used to do is because we called this when we lined up in the way they look on the line of scrimmage right now, we called that mug, meaning everybody's gonna line up on a line. We're gonna show all out blitz. We call it mug.
Mm-hmm.
And at the snap of the ball, like you saying, they either can drop back or continue with the blitz. When they all back up
Mm-hmm.
like this on a straight line, for
Yeah.
me, that's saying that we're playing top, meaning that
Uh,
we're
you
playing
don't want to get beat deep. Right.
deep flat foot, so we can
Mm-hmm.
drive on anything. Because if you watch everybody drove, and the only one that was kind of in no man's land is the safety. I felt like
Thornhill.
yeah,
So you would think he would have number 3 in this situation, Brandon Cook. So he
yeah,
should have played that
hmm
corner route.
he should have played
Okay.
the corner route. I think they schemed him up. I think they thought
With the
that
route concepts,
everybody.
those two ends.
I think that I think McCarthy schemed them up, and they might have been watching film that the Browns do when the Cowboys have a like an all slants or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and the old boy didn't slant. He ran the quarter route.
Yeah, that's true. He gave him the eye candy, and they clearly bit on it because
Yeah.
the outside receiver and CD Lamb end up running a 5-yard in. They went to the sticks and ran in
Mm-hmm.
routes.
What the top do? Let me see what the top did.
The tight end, he just came out. He was there to help with Miles Garrett. The back came
I about to
down
say he
too to
probably
help
he
chip
probably
on Miles
max
Garrett.
protect.
Yeah. And the
He
back
should
bumped
have
out
played.
just for a safety. But then if
Yeah,
you continue to watch it, you can see Juan Thornhill yelling at somebody saying you were supposed to be over top. So that's why I figured out it was cover 3. Him saying this right here. Oh,
yeah,
well, I should have
Mm.
sworn I seen something where
Yeah, I
he was
seen
yelling
him.
yeah.
at
They were
somebody.
He did.
they were doing that.
Yeah.
He did
So
yell
that's
at
what gave
somebody.
me the impression that it was cover 3, that was supposed to have that deep third over there and he didn't go there
To that point, if
because they
that's the
did
case,
drive on the under.
yeah, the if it's 3, that the other safety, he's the curl flat player, so he could drive the slant. That's what they're supposed to do. You get a slant, you drive it, and then the outside guy, corner, supposed to play deep. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
maybe.
That was a good play by Dak too. I like seeing that. Of course, I'm gonna bring some Madden into it, but if I see this exactly how they just broke that down, when they
Yeah.
backed up, I'm probably gonna play for the first down right there on them slants. But I'm gonna wait to see what Thornhill gonna do. Give me 1 second to see if Thornhill gonna either bite to the right, and I know he
Uh-huh.
going there. That's where I'm going too. But if he don't bite right away, then I'm gonna pick up that first down. Because why the man back up and offer the first down like that?
Oh,
They
I just
played the
figured out that
sticks
play
because
worked.
they can all drive on the sticks right there. Sticks meaning
Yeah,
all they did was back up to the first down
right,
marker,
right.
and they can always
Yeah.
drive on anything under there. They just didn't want to get beat past the first down marker.
Yeah.
So, but if you look at this replay right here, Rick, you can kind of see Juan Thornhill when he's trying to recover. It looks like he's kind of pointing to Brandon Cooks, like, "Hey, Martin, 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 you're supposed to have him." Like in the middle of his run, it looks like he's pointing, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
He gave like a little tiny point. Look, he turns around and just starts yelling at him. If you can see the little point right there, so that's what made me think they was in cover 3.
Oh
Like right
yeah,
there, when he was telling them we checked the cover 3 and he didn't get the check.
yeah, yeah. Because both of them did. Both those two guys were telling him.
Yeah, so that's what made me think like he blew the coverage, and if he would have made the coverage the way it was supposed to be, it would have been either
Oh, it
a
was a pick.
interception or
That was a
definitely not a
pick. Yeah.
touchdown. You know what I mean?
because the way he threw that ball up there, that was anybody's ball, and because he straight ran underneath that.
So this is another formation right here that the Browns, in my opinion, should run a lot more of, especially in this game, because it gives Deshaun Watson a back that can either help with protection or he can swing out here for an emergency dump off and get the ball out quick, like you were saying, Byron. And also
Mm-hmm.
you got Jerry Judy at the top of the screen. He's so close to the line of scrimmage as a corner or a defender or anything. To you, that just screams to you like he's trying to get outside. Because why else would he be so close
Mm-hmm.
inside without him
Yep.
trying to get back outside? And the two receivers at the bottom, you would either send Cooper on a slant. I'm just saying because you see him circling Micah Parsons right there, which means they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get pressure on Deshaun Watson and trying to get the ball out to either cause a turnover or clearly get home for a sack. So me personally, Njoku, he could be another safety valve or help with the protection. Ford can be a safety valve or help with the protection and send these guys on some quick routes so he can hit a target somewhere and get the ball out and get a positive play out of it. So let's see what happens. So that's another safety dump off right there. It slowed down the blitz. The blitz didn't get home, so he had time to sit there, read it, and dump it off. So this is what I was telling you, Byron, that when he did have time, he still saw things, but it was times where he was just overwhelmed in the pocket. And you see it later in the game, the more he got hit in situations like this, that's when he would just take off because he was so nervous and tired of getting beat down. So that's why it looked like he was just scrambling for his life because they just started getting in his head.
Now, who is that at the top? All the way at the top. That's Judy that went out
Yeah,
to the
Jerry Judy, the
outside.
receiver at the top. Yep.
I can't see what the safety is doing, but looked like he might have had a step. But it was a real tight window. He would have to drop it in there.
Yeah, with that safety being so tight over the top of him, it really doesn't leave. See, he ran
Yeah.
kind of like a fade route, but I think he was just a clear out anyway to get that corner out of there. And originally, just me seeing it as a defensive coordinator, he would at least want to try to get the ball to Njoku. I think that's what they communicating about right now to get him going on the arrow route to the middle of the field. Or like I said, he just ran that out route right there to give him another safety valve if the blitz was to get any closer. Is the path that Njoku took. He went up about 2-3 yards, showed his numbers, and just in case if Deshaun didn't have Ford to dump it off to, he could have hit Njoku. And Jerry Judy just cleared it out for Njoku, but they were in zone anyway, so but that's a good positive play that you would want to see Stefanski just run more to get that confidence up,
Mm-hmm.
Rick, that you was
Get that
talking about
momentum.
earlier. So
Yeah.
yeah, get the momentum and the confidence just so
Mm-hmm.
you can just continue to build on things because he's clearly lacking confidence, man.
Yeah.
Mel,
I
take all
guess,
this
yeah.
out because I'm searching for the other play. What time we on right now, Zen?
18. Mutes in.
Oh, okay.
This was a bad call right here for me.
Yeah,
Why are you running boot into Michael Parsons?
Micah Parsons. So that's what I was saying at the
Yeah.
beginning of the episode where McCarthy was doing this away from Miles Garrett. You could see
Mm-hmm.
Micah Parsons in the 2 point stand standing up against DeJuan Jones. He already has outside leverage. He's lined up in the freaking five technique. Five technique meaning the outside shoulder of that tackle. So he already has outside leverage. So why would you boot that way? If anything, I'm going to run that to the Demarcus Lawrence side because he has so much further to come towards the quarterback. Michael Parsons can just get an easy, clear get off and do what he needs to do because, as you see, Njoku is in motion going the other way. So that's taking another receiver away and you booting that way. So, like you said, Rick, I don't agree with this call either, but
I think they
you live and learn.
underestimated his discipline. I think they thought he was gonna be just,
Parsons.
yeah, just downhill, undisciplined. You know, they're trying to play his how aggressive he is. I get that, but he showed some real discipline here, and
And
he played good.
they tried to give them the eye candy that they gave us with the two in routes on that touchdown play. They tried to give us Dallas that eye candy with Tillman going with the jet sweep, but like you said, Michael Parsons stayed disciplined and stayed home, and Deshaun Watson did a hell of a job of getting away from this just to even try to make a play. Yeah, he almost threw a pick. That corner was sitting there. It looked could be cover two, cover three, extended a little bit. He had to get it over that defender to try and make it to the receiver. He didn't get enough on it, and defense won this play right here. They was thinking that Michael Parsons would bite on that and come back, but he stayed disciplined, and Deshaun Watson just made a hell of a freaking athletic play, still took a hit, and almost made that completion to the receiver, Jerry
Mm-hmm.
Judy, at the bottom of the screen. But like you said, Rick, he has to give him the freedom to check out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had I would have been up in the box like, ooh, I don't this is not a good call. Like,
Yeah. Or and shit, it's already 7-3. Burn another timeout if you got to.
yeah.
That's good discipline by Michael Parsons, man. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing else he could have
You
done
see how he
besides make
changed
the play.
direction.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Goodness. Yeah. He
And that
changed.
should have been a pick.
definitely should have
Man,
been picked.
Yeah.
But
he
I don't
always
know,
talking about
man.
the hips. That boy changed them hips. That direction was
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Mm.
this is another play. I'm gonna try and see if I can get the downfield of the receivers, what the receivers did. So
They
they
don't
still are
come
trying
back,
to put.
man.
You said what now, B?
They never come back and help him out, man. I will say that too, because I think he can thrive. We've been saying that for a while. Like what D Hop used to do is like these receivers never look. It's like they're always running the route. They never break route and look, help him out a little bit when he's running
Mm-hmm.
for his life.
And we call that scramble drill.
Mm-hmm.
So they put Njoku right here down by Parsons, hopefully to get a chip or to just try and distract him. But Zimmer is so smart, he doesn't want him to get a chip, so he actually runs a game where
Mm-hmm.
Parson goes inside across the offensive line's face to come up the middle of the pocket and eventually get this sack on Deshaun. But let's see what kind of routes they run, Rick. Matter of fact, that wasn't even a game. That was just a personal adjustment by Michael Parsons, seeing that he wasn't going to beat DeJuan Jones around the end of the shoulder. So he just reversed his field and cut across every other offensive lineman's face to get the sack. But it looks like everything is covered up. Like, I don't see anything open unless y'all see something different. That's just a hell of a play by a defender, man.
Yeah, you a special dude if you get the liberty to.
Do that right there.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to have outside contain in that situation.
Yep.
Me being a defensive end, I would have got chewed out by going inside like that. If I made the play, I'm pretty sure he would have said good play, but don't ever do that again because that's not what we want to
Can
do. Because
can you go back to that tight start of that?
everything is covered, man. They had two safeties over top too. What was you looking for right there, Rick? Or
It
just to
look.
see
I
what?
was I was trying to see what the top side. It might have been a game because
Because
Lawrence he did. Yeah. No, that was a
99
7.
did go out eventually. They crossed
Yeah,
right there. Yeah, okay. So that was a delayed game.
a delayed one. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a hell of a delay. Holy crap. That was at least
so
three
quick,
seconds on the
man.
delay.
You like Lawrence
But it's
Taylor out
stuff
there.
like that that I say Kevin could do so much better with, just scheming out different offenses and different routes just to help your quarterback in situations like that, especially when you got a special defender on the other side of the ball, like a Micah Parsons, that you just have to help out your guys and help yourself out and make it a better game to call on your end and just make better, easier ways to perfect the play just to get points on the board, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap up the first breaking down film with Coach E. Hopefully, you learned something. Hopefully, you start watching the game a little bit different. If it moves too fast for you in real time, don't worry. We will be right back next week breaking down the Jaguars versus the Browns. Hopefully, going 1-1. See you next week.